මේ විදේශ විනිමය පනතේ 22 වන වගන්ති යටතේ නිකුත් කර නියමයක්. මේ නියමය දෙසැම්බර් 2024 දෙසැම්බර් 19 සිට මාස 6ක කාලයකට වළංගු වෙනවා. මෙතනින් අපි සිදු කරලා තියෙන්නේ දැනට පවතින capital flow measures අපි temporary limit කරලා තියෙනවා, suspend කරලා තියෙනවා, විශේෂයෙන්ම outward remittance සම්බන්ධයෙන්. මම previously මේක explain කරලා තියෙනවා මේ capital transactions වලට අදාළ ඒවා තමයි මෙතන මේ restrict කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මාස 6කට කාලයක් අපි මේක නිකුත් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඊට පසුව මාස 6 නිකුත් වෙද්දී ඒ වෙලාවේ තියෙන වෙළඳපොළ තත්ත්වයන් developments, market developments සැලකිල්ලට අරගෙන අපි මේක තවදුරටත් තව මාස 6කට පවත්වාගෙන යා යුතුද කියලා අපිට තීරණය කර ගැනීමට පුළුවන්. නමුත් මේ නියමයෙන් මගින් සර්ව් වෙන්නේ අපි මුලින් දීලා තිබුණු අර ප්‍රාග්ධන මේ නිදහස් කිරීම යම් සීමාවකට යටත් කිරීමයි. යටත් කිරීම. නෑ අතල මේ ගිය මාස 6 තිබුණු ඒ සීමාවන් මේ ඕඩර් එකකිනුත් ඒ සීමාවන්ම පවත්වාගෙන යනවා.
අපිට මීට කලින් ආපු එකේදී තිබ්බ අර වැඩි කරා කියලානේ ලිමිට් එක.
ලිමිට් එක 500,000 වලට වැඩි කිරීමක් කරලා තිබුණා කලින් එකේදී.
ඒක දැන් ස්ටේ
දැන් ඔය 2024 දෙසැම්බර් මාසයේ තිබුණු දෙසැම්බර් මාසයේ දක්වා, ඒ කියන්නේ ජූනි වෙනිදා දෙසැම්බර් මාසයේ දක්වා තිබුණු සීමාවන් මේ නියමයේ තුලිනුත් තව මාස 6කට පවත්වාගෙන යනවා. එලෙසම.
ඒක අපි කතා කරානේ සභාව.
ඔව් අපිට මේ ගැන ලොකුවට මේ තර්ක කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. දැන් ඔබතුමා නේද you are the director foreign exchange.
Yes sir.
මට මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ස්ටැටිස්ටික්ස් වලින් මේ චුට්ටක් මේකට එහා ගිය ප්‍රශ්නයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෙවෙයි මේ report එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් වචනයක් කතා කරන්න ඕනොත් දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගත්තොත් මේ weekly indicator එක අවසාන එක ඒකේ තියෙනවා foreign exchange මේ international reserves දැන් අපේ තියෙනවා දැන් අපේ international reserves තියෙනවා official reserve 6 billion 91 million 6 billion and 28 then you have official reserve assets 6 billion 451 we have under 4.3 official reserve assets. I'm reading the weekly report, the latest one. Official reserve assets at end of December 24, official reserve assets 6 billion 91, which you said is 6 billion 23. Then 4.4 international reserves and foreign currency liquidity as at end of November 2024. Official reserve assets 6 billion 451. So that's November. So there's been a bit of a drop. Or is it to sort of remove the volatility in the markets?
No.
But okay.
So this is reserve management basically done by the international operations department. So of course we have a different department for that particular purpose.
So you all are the foreign exchange department.
This is of course we are the regulator of the foreign exchange
for the
market.
Management, there's a separate department.
We have a separate department for the reserve management.
Who does that?
International operations department, director, international operations
Can
department.
I ask one question on the transfer pricing audits? Now, other countries, I worked in India, the transfer pricing audits are very strong. So the companies who operate there has to prove who's their mother company, what their invoicing values, and how they have to justify that. Now, do Sri Lanka has a strong transfer pricing audit mechanism in exchange control, or we don't have?
Of course, I must tell you that we don't have an exchange control act for the moment. That has been repealed, and now what we have is the Foreign Exchange Act. Under the provisions of the Foreign Exchange Act, there is no any particular provision to deal the matter that what you raised. No, under the Foreign Exchange Act, no.
But apart from that, there is no act that governs the transfer pricing in Sri Lanka.
To my knowledge, I have no idea, but I can just look into matter and can let you know. I'm not, of course, aware of it. I can look into it. Yes.
So, Chair, that is also something that we need to look at, because there are concerns that under-invoicing happens.
This is what you have been speaking for many,
so
many months before the election.
I think the thing is that even it's not there, we should be studying it and looking at it, because and also to see who should take the responsibility, whether it's a companies, it's coming under Companies Act, or is it the exchange control, or is it the central bank?
The issue exactly is?
So basically what happens is we have multinationals running here. No?
Yes.
So transfer pricing is basically, say I have a factory somewhere else.
Correct.
I pass the manufacturing cost only to here.
Yes.
And you keep the bulk of the margin somewhere
So
else.
there's the first sale concept or something, no?
There's a FSFE.
Yeah.
Right, and also the other piece is you can have your mother company somewhere else and you can park that amount. So that has to be reasonable.
Yeah.
And if you have parent companies and sister companies, it should be arm's length.
Right.
So these two needs to be monitored.
Correct.
So I don't know whether Sri Lanka has that kind of a law,
Yeah.
but that is very much required to ensure that the country's value is kind of retained, because it's not that you can't do, it's
Yes.
just that it has to be at arm's length and it needs to be audited.
Can we can since this has been a matter under discussion for a long period of time. The other day we asked the same question or similar question from the governor, and he said 100% is repatriated and so on. I think you asked that question.
This actually happens not on the repatriation.
Yeah,
this is
but
on the
on the transfer
transaction,
pricing.
invoicing,
Yeah.
transfer pricing.
Transfer
So
pricing.
you can have your mother company in Europe,
Yeah.
you have a sister company in India,
Yeah.
you have another company in Sri Lanka, and another one in Singapore.
Yeah.
So the transaction between these four
Correct.
has
So
to
what
be
gets
at
recorded
arm's-
in Sri Lanka as export revenue and all will be based on that pricing, no?
Yes, yes.
Correct. So that's what. So can we let's write a letter to the governor seeking clarification on this matter, and to let us have a initial short document on how transfer pricing is.
globally and
Yeah.
Or maybe how we monitor it here.
Yeah. So on the how transfer pricing is.
Excuse me, sir, if it is relating to undervaluing export and all, whether we can just check with the Director General Custom whether that would come under the their
No,
permit.
I think it's beyond undervaluing. It's basically checking the ownership of the other entity. Right? So undervaluing and overvaluing, customs has to be responsible, because they have to be, because that is impacting our taxes and also revenue collection both. But this is basically having ownership in multiple countries and how these entities transact among each other.
Yeah, so transfer pricing, what do you call that? Transfer pricing standards or transfer pricing
Standards.
standards, no?
Yeah.
Transfer pricing standards.
So there are transfer pricing audits. Generally in India, the government carries out on that. So for example, you have to prove, say, if a garment is, okay, example, if the mother company is in Sri Lanka, it's invoicing its subsidy in India, and the entity in India is shipping to
America.
America. So the Indian authorities are checking whether the same item that is sent from India to America is billed at the same value where the mother company in Sri Lanka is sending from here to America, the FOB prices.
Right,
So that is a audit that they do,
right. Which has to be pretty much the same,
so, which pretty much has to be same or explainable.
explainable.
Explain.
Right. So you got that, right? Right. Thank you. That's all.
You're watching the Life Traveler channel.